welcome to the RatHole for the first episode of the whole conversation. Tonight's guest is Richard Perdomo, aka Domo. He's a guitarist and audio engineer, and he's in the band Silura on ShedRat Industries, and he does most of our visuals for music videos and releases and playthroughs, and he also does all of the audio engineering for Silura's music. What's up, Domo?
What's up, man?
Not a whole lot. Chilling here in the RatHole, getting some stuff done. Excited to talk to you today and let everybody know what's up, with us running ShedRat North and South and what's going on with Silura, what's up this year. So, I'll get right into it. And, got a couple notes here from some things I wanted to ask you.
You're gonna ask away?
I'm gonna ask you. I just want to start this right off with a bang. You being the audio engineer and mixing and mastering and stuff, how did you get into that?
It's a very, very long story. It involves my father. No, I'm just kidding. I got into it a couple years ago. It was sort of just, out of necessity, really. We didn't have any money, and I wanted to make Silura sound good. So I just started researching, and I have this way of researching things where I just start consuming every little piece of information I possibly can. And that happened over the course of a year or so, and I kept doing it. And then I started, practicing a lot on our own mixes and stuff like that. And it was a lot of trial and error, and a lot of thinking and almost, it starts to become common sense when you start to understand how everything plays with each other, and I've always been computer literate. So, I've always been really good at computers, really good at programs. So, any sort of learning curve was very, very easy for me to sort of, go straight through. So that leads me to today where I'm basically obsessed with audio. I love mixing, I love engineering and all that kind of stuff. Even when I was a kid, I do have some memories of running around a studio with a relative of mine who he has passed away, but he used to be an engineer for Gloria Estefan and a lot of Latin people like that. And I do remember running around the studio a lot and learning from him just a little bit, but those are very vague memories. But yeah, pretty much that's basically how I got into engineering and audio. I love it.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm glad you got into it because you've been helping me out with some stuff and the rest of the guys in the family, and we're really happy with everything you've been doing for us. So I'm glad that you got into it because it's really benefiting more than just you.
Oh, hell yeah. I love being of use to people. I guess that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. What would you say if you had to put together a top 10 list of things that you needed for a decent home studio, for beginners or just for somebody like your just basic solid home studio? What would be your top 10 things?
So, all right, number one, just to start off with, is room treatment. It's the most important thing you could do for your studio is to figure out the dimensions of your room. There's some math that's involved that can get a little complicated, but very simply, you need to get bass traps in the corners of your room. You need to get broadband absorbers in the reflection areas, which you can find by clapping and performing sound tests, and there's a whole slew of articles, but just treat your room. Anything that you do in an untreated room, you could have the best monitors, you could have the best converters, you could have the best everything. If it's in a bad room, your mix is going to suffer. So definitely first thing, treated room. Second thing, monitors. And they need to be decent. They need to be flat. They need to be something that you can eventually learn. That's number two. Monitors are super huge. And you can also, and this is what I do, see, I'm sort of committing a little sin by not having one of the things that I need, but headphones. Good open back studio headphones in a not okay environment, they would probably be your next best bet. There's also software that you can buy that emulates what with your headphones, what it would sound like in an actual monitoring environment, which I say is worth the plunge. They're usually about $150. So there we go. That's about 4 right there. Next thing I would say is good converters. A good interface, basically. I have a Focusrite 2i2, and I don't have any problems with it. I really like it. Some people hate it. I've seen hip-hop producers that make freaking Billboard 100, number 5 on the charts songs use 2i2s to mix their music, So, I mean, yes, it's great to have good converters, but especially in metal, as long as you have something decent, you're not recording the London Philharmonic or any symphonic orchestra. You don't need the best thing in the world, especially with metal, when everything needs to sound a little nasty and gritty and mean.
For sure.
So those 5 things are really all you need, because when it comes down to it, you can mix a chart-topping song with all those 5 things that I said and stock plugins from Reaper. You don't need all the fancy stuff. You don't need all this craziness, because first thing is when you track something, it needs to be good at its source. No matter what you do even with editing, even with time slips, even with adjustments like that, there's only so much you can do to a track that sounds like shit.
Yeah.
Shitty track is always going to be a shitty track, and even with the extreme type of metal we do, where everything is really tightly edited when it's recorded, the takes still have to be good. There can't be any extra noise in them. There can't be any of this, ridiculousness, because I can't really edit that out.
Yeah.
I can try to fix it, but it only, exacerbates the problem in the end.
That's where you get to the point of blending instead of it actually being what needs to be there.
Exactly, and then you get fighting frequencies and weird shit that shouldn't be happening. So, I mean, 10 things is a huge list. I think 5, definitely. That's all you need.
That would be
obviously
for
you use your instruments and shit.
Yeah, I was going to say that's just for doing your mixing and mastering and stuff. That's not for actually capturing all of the stuff by yourself. So you would definitely need your microphone and then your preferred gear.
Exactly, but it all starts with the foundation of having the treated room, the good monitors.
Yeah.
And having that knowledge to where you can apply everything correctly.
Yeah, that's the first thing I did here when we started construction on the RatHole. Is the first thing I did was pick out my problem areas and then get the proper room treatment, and then we walked around making different noises and clapping and hitting different instruments and things and with the mics on, mics off, listen with our ears, listen back on the computer. And then we really got the size and shape and everything of what we wanted to capture a good, clean sound. And it seems like I did an okay job, and I approved for your list because you complimented how crisp my tracks were for the withholding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a really cool thing about it. I think some of it has to do with, those are stone walls, right? Concrete?
I have concrete, wood, and treated.
So, yeah, there's a lot of really cool ways to make those reflections stand out and, help a mix.
I've been experimenting a lot with them and, changing where my checkers of treatment are, or, putting up an extra blanket, or, cutting the room in half and things like that for different instruments. And I've found that, because since I play such a wide array of music, like with Plum Tuckered Out and Quitter, and then I do all the metal stuff, and then the Dad Gut stuff where it's more like hardcore post-punk stuff, different sounds definitely, it helps when I separate the room in different ways or just move things around, and it definitely gets more of what I want out of my sound. And that's so interesting that you can just do something as much as move a 2x3 piece of foam to 4 feet over in the room, and you get so much of a different sound. And I think a lot of people don't focus on how important the room treatment really is.
Yeah, that's the beauty of recording is it's so much an art form.
Yeah.
To where you can literally, there's no holds barred, there's no rules, and now we're in the digital domain to the point to where we don't even have a ceiling, so we can drive whatever the hell we want.
Yeah.
As hard as we want, and bring it back down, and it'll still be good. And basically, you just over-compress the shit out of something. It may not sound the best, but we can do it.
Yeah.
Which is the whole point.
We have the technology.
Exactly.
But see, the thing that I find interesting about room treatment, like knowing your space, like, for example, like Muscle Shoals, they created a sound that even they couldn't replicate once they moved out of their original space. And for a decade, they put out some of the best records in all music genres. Like the sound that they created there, and then before actually knowing and appreciating your space, and even the natural things in your space, they moved to a different space thinking they could recreate the same sound, and that was pretty much the downfall of Muscle Shoals.
Yeah. It's definitely the space and what you do with it really affects the sound.
Yeah,
greatly. You know, I've got in this room. It may not be treated, but there's a lot of stuff everywhere. This room is used for storage, so you know there's a teeny bit of reverberation, but it's not bad in here.
Yeah,
and so. I may not have exactly what I need at the moment, but this definitely helps.
In my mixing room where I'm at now doing, shooting the podcast, if I have the curtain down for the main door and I'm sitting in here, you can hear your blood running.
That's crazy.
Like it's a whole different trip sitting in here. And then it changes differently from my instrument room where I have the drums set up and where we shoot the group podcast. Like we have my main table and desk and stuff where we have the group of people come in. I have all my wall of amps and stuff in there. And then I have the isolation booth for vocals and things in here. And just the difference you hear just walking into the different rooms, just closing the door and not making any noise is crazy. So just thinking about it that way and then actually going in there and making noises to capture, it makes such a huge difference.
Oh yeah, and that's super important. You brought up something that so basically your room, it's really good to have a silent room, no doubt. But the most important thing, and this is for everybody who's looking to treat their rooms, is the most important thing is to treat it, to make sure that the vibrations, the early vibrations that are hitting your ears after the sound from the speaker hits your ears isn't happening. So that way you're getting the most accurate, semblance of sound from the speaker cones and not from anything else in the room. So super important. I know Muff's got his room treated like that too, and it's super dead in there, which is super cool. But it doesn't have to be dead.
Yeah, you don't have to be as cool as me, but if you get somewhere within the ballpark. You don't have to be as cool as Muff.
Yeah. You don't have to be as cool as Muff. So, and the reason why I'm saying that is just because, some people may not have the budget or the money to put up as much as you did and to do as much as you did.
Yeah.
So for the people that are working on a budget, it doesn't have to be silent, doesn't have to be completely treated, as long as you're getting the best bang for your buck in the room. Your desk placement, your speaker placement also has a lot to do with that too.
See, my thing is like I didn't have an extremely large budget to work on for a studio, but I really focused on spending the money on the important things, and then making sure that the things that I had to go budget with, like my sound treatment, for instance. I bought my sound treatment from Walmart.com. And it was $50 cheaper for my order or more than I would have if I would have bought it from somewhere like, say, Sweetwater or something, just because it was marketed as something else. These are, they're the same blankets. I ordered a box of acoustic blankets and a box of moving blankets, and they were the same blankets. But one box cost me $50 more because it was marketed as an acoustic blanket. So that's another thing that I always tell people. Yeah, is be smart about your purchases. You don't need to spend the money just because it's marketed for that thing.
Definitely.
That's the one thing that I always tell people, because people come over here to the RatHole and they're like, oh man, you've got it going on over here. And I'm like, well, thank you, but it's not what you think. I was smart with the budget that I had to work with. And, it's come out as something I'm pretty proud of. I've spent my whole life having to rig up setups and using other people's setups and things like that. And I wanted my own nice setup where everything was ready to go, where I could just come down and click a button and create music, and it's really paid off. And
exactly.
you know, I think that's very important, is not only knowing your space, but knowing your budget and knowing what's important to spend the money on.
Exactly. And a lot of people need to think about, well, I think it's just a really good mindset to have, where everything that you're adding on, or anything that you're looking to purchase, is supposed to be made to make the process of writing, the process of doing whatever you're doing, easier. You know, if it does make your life easier in any way, any way, shape, or form, then there's no point in buying it. It's frivolous.
Yeah.
You know, if you approach it with that mindset, then you'll definitely have a much better view of what you need.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. Okay, with all that being said, give me your dream setup and go.
Oh my God. All right, so start off with a couple of giant monitors, because you can never have enough screen space, and some barefoot monitors, barefoot speakers. Those things are awesome. They're amazing. I try to set. They're fucking incredible. Interestingly, I would not have a desk mixer or anything of the sort. I didn't really grow up playing with faders, so it's, you know, never really been a thing for me. It's never been a tactile thing. I've always, you know, been in the box.
Yeah.
So, you know, keep a nice clean desk. Maybe have a couple of Warm Audio 1176 compressors. Those things are really nice.
Yeah.
Good mic, good setup. And then mainly what I'd spend a lot of the rest of my money on, aside from having a really nice 18 input interface, is guitars and basses.
Yeah.
Lots of guitars and basses. Like Damon S. It's one of my favorite brands. They're nearly unachievable as far as cost goes, because they can run up to like $5,000 and you have to wait 6 years for you to get one. But they're amazing. They're built by two dudes in Britain, literally. That's all it is. And they pump out a very small list of guitars, and the attention to detail is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Jackson boy, just like you are.
Yeah.
For sure, 100%. Having a couple of those. I have so many dream guitars and so many dream basses. I spent more time looking at guitars and basses and gear and shit than I did practicing, which is why Josh is so much better than me. He fucked with me all the time about that too. I mean, he's like, "We should have spent more time fucking practicing, then you'd be able to play just like me."
Hey, but on the other hand, man, you know what you need, and you know how to work that equipment to make his ability of playing sound so much better.
Exactly.
You guys complement each other very well, man. You're always saying that Josh plays what you would write anyway, and so you guys, you guys mesh so well together that it's a good thing that you were such a gear nerd.
Exactly. We make one functional person, is what I tell everybody, and it's very true, because Josh is a little inept in some places, and I'm a little inept in some places, so we make up one like regular dude.
Yeah, you're definitely the more social and gear savvy part of the dude, and Josh is definitely more of the workhorse and writing part of the dude. That definitely makes one hell of a dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm glad I met that dude. So, you know, meeting you guys and releasing the Withholder and stuff, and it just really re-sparked everything in me to, like I said before, let me know I'm not dead, and I'm just hoping you guys can push me and keep me alive, because I hadn't done metal for so long, and jumping in with you guys and featuring on that song, and then getting the reception that it got and stuff from not only the guys in the family, but the people that have listened to it and downloaded and streamed and stuff, like it means a lot to me. Like it really put me back in the mindset of an artist, instead of, you know, running management and running the company and you know, working on the merch and graphic design and things like that. Is it put me back in my musician shoes, and I laced them boots up real tight for that song, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. Like, I keep listening to it and critiquing little things about it, and I'm like, man, I could have done better. But I also have to remember I had bronchitis and a sinus infection, and Like,
You did amazing for that. In fact, I feel like you should probably just always get sick every time you record for us.
So, I'll only record in the fall and winter months.
Just like get in front of one of your kids and be like, just breathe on me.
Cough in my mouth.
That's good stuff. Yeah.
Well, as soon as I figure out if one of the kids is sick, or I'll be like asking my son when he comes home from school, hey buddy, did you see any kids that might have had the sniffles or anything like that at school? Well, if you can, tomorrow, offer them a Kleenex and then offer to throw it away, but bring it home and I'll just eat it. That'll keep me at notch 11 for my vocals.
The fucking one-way ticket right there.
Yeah. Well, we got through the setup part of it there. What are some big things you're expecting to see from SRI in 2019?
I'm expecting to see bigger videos, more of us, in the general buffoonery that we have come to know in the ShedRat chats. We want to bring that to everybody.
Yeah.
We don't want it just to be text. We want to embody it in videos and throw it around for everybody to see and laugh at. And there's a lot of people or a lot of bands and musicians and stuff like that are geared towards depression and helping people, people that may be lost, and we're all for that. We love that. But a really big part of what makes us who we are is we just want to entertain people. We want to make people laugh, smile, forget about the dumb shit for 15 minutes, for even a second of their day.
Yeah.
That's what turns my gears.
Yeah.
Seeing people that, happy like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I just mentioned to the guys when I was talking to them last night. We were sitting writing up some stuff for the show and, getting some more t-shirt stuff sorted out and making orders and things. And I was like, the way I feel about it is I belong on a stage. And it's really hard to get on a physical stage as much as I want. So I have to use the social media platform as my stage. And I love entertaining people. I love making people laugh. I love making people smile. And one of the big things about being a musician for me is I have the opportunity, and not only the opportunity, but the fortune of seeing the world through the eyes that I do and perceiving it the way that I do, that I can put all of my words and thoughts and stuff down on a piece of paper and then pick up instruments and create something to accompany it. And then I can put it out in the world, and that can change someone's life. I think a lot of people really take their talents like that for granted. I know so many musicians that really could be doing something very, very positive with their talents, but they're just bedroom rock stars, or they're, they just enjoy playing in bars, in cover bands and things like that. And they have no clue what kind of gift they have, and what good they could do. And they're all great people. They're all really good people. I just don't think they realize what kind of good they could do with their talent.
Definitely.
What do you think is coming from Silura in 2019?
What do I think is coming from Silura in 2019? Well, that'll be for y'all to find out, huh? Honestly, I have no idea myself. We have a lot of things in the works right now, and there's a lot of stuff in the air. But that's a really, really good thing, because, you never really know when we're going to drop something soon.
Yeah. Sometimes it just happens overnight, and we're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. And that's sort of the way I kind of want to stick to things, because, I will do the teaser and stuff like that for all the releases and keep it going that way, but I still want that element of surprise, because, we may try to make the promise that we're going to deliver a single every month, but with our lifestyle, sometimes that won't happen.
Yeah.
So, at the same time, we try to fill the gaps with everything like that. But, I think we have like 6 songs in the works right now with different people.
Yes.
Yes. They're shaping up to be pretty fucking huge. I'm getting better with mixing. We got a couple of new pieces of equipment, or I guess you'd call them plugins.
Yeah.
that are super mega helpful. And, in the future, we're going to just keep accumulating and getting better and just making everything just so much bigger. You know, I'm really excited for the future of Silura.
Would you say that joining ShedRat Industries and like being involved with the whole environment we have going on has put you to a different level of looking at things and working on things and like performing? And you know, what would you say about that?
Joining ShedRat has been really eye-opening because, I mean, we've been close to a lot of these bands. We've been friends with a lot of these bands, but we never really got an insight as to how they operated. So we were kind of sort of, you know, doing our own thing and trying to figure out things as we went. But joining this whole collective, you know, we're all people that have these really amazing ideas, and we're all throwing them back and forth at each other, and it's been really, really, I don't know, mind-blowing. Like, it's a really big learning experience for us, I guess you could call it, for us to learn how each band sort of operates and how that differs from us and how we can apply what they do to us and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's been a big growing experience. It's also been sort of like, you know, you beat the boss and now you're at the next level, and now everything's a little fucking harder. And there's another glass barrier you gotta fucking break through.
Yeah. But
it's worth it in the end. Definitely.
And I think that one of the main things that I was looking to do with ShedRat Industries is, you know, make that community sense of sharing ideas and helping each other with whatever we can, and, you know, finding the best person for the job within the family to help you with what you can do and everything. And not only that, but getting to know each other more on a personal level instead of just appreciating their music from afar. You know, now everybody is personally involved with the chats that we have going on, and I think we're all making a lot of big decisions that are really benefiting all of us, and we're all learning from each other. And I really think that there's been a lot of positive feedback from everybody that's joined the family. Like, we've got a lot of different things going on as far as the individual bands and group projects and stuff like that in the family. And what are some things that you're involved with right now and some of the different things that are going on?
So we've got a lot of shit going on. We're trying to work on getting a cover out just about every month with different people in the ShedRat family. Right now we're working on quite a few different covers, so we're going to have a lot of them stockpiled up for you all to enjoy over the year, which is super cool. I'm going to be doing a lot of mixing in that, maybe some guitar work, you know, if I got some time. Disappearance, Sanity Shattered, and I think Plum Tuckered Out are all working on new material that I think I might be mixing, which I'm super excited about. You know, everybody's sort of giving me rough ideas. Rob from Sanity Shattered has been giving me a lot of demos, and I'm really excited to finally put my hands on people's, you know, albums, rather than releasing a ton of singles, which is super cool. So we got the Shred Off we're still working on. Josh seems to be undefeated.
Yep, so far.
Right now.
Yeah, I've got like 3 different people around here working on some stuff, but they're having a hard time grasping the whole composure.
So many things.
Yeah.
So many good things. So many things that I'm excited about. Hey, we're doing Blacker Than the Blackest Black.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of shit with them.
Yeah, Blacker Than the Blackest Black. Yeah. There's
some old songs.
Yeah. You got the whole Baby Making Music EP?
Yep.
Yeah. What, did you finally get to listen to all of it?
Yeah, I ran through all of it.
What do you think about that? Yeah.
I can't wait to record it all.
Don't even ask me for any help, because I was so drunk when we, like, literally we would get like a bottle apiece and make these songs. Like, we would drink it and make the song within like a half hour, 45 minutes, like with no idea what we were doing when we started until it was done, and we were sitting back sipping on the last of our bottle listening to it. Like, we had a few people, some of the other ShedRats, that used to just sit around and sit in on sessions and stuff and just help us drink the bottles and things. And shit was crazy. Like, there was never any prep for it. We would literally just be drinking and go, let's make a song. And then it would happen. And we literally, like, I think Blacker Than the Blackest Black has like 40-some songs, and the Baby Making Music EP is the only thing we've released. But the funny thing is, with it being a joke band, is that's the band that we've made the most money off of. And we actually started playing shows as that band, and it wasn't even ever supposed to be known about. Like, it was just a spoof that happened. Like, I had a buddy that was in a terrible deathcore band, and I just wanted to show him how easy it was to make terrible deathcore, and it ended up being something completely different and its own thing, and people started requesting things and shirts and CDs, and so Blacker Than the Blackest Black has definitely already had their heyday by themselves as a joke, but now we're actually starting to do serious stuff but keep it fun and light.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying in the chat earlier, it's basically like the second I Set My Friends on Fire album that we never got, but way heavier. I love that. You know, we definitely need more music like that. You know, I miss having the fucking movie quotes and breakdowns and shit, and retarded call-outs and all that. You know, there needs to be more.
I think there was one of the songs that just literally stops, and then there's a giant, like, bong rip or something in the middle of it, and then the song just goes right back to, like, ridiculously brutal breakdown. Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many different things. Like, Blacker Than the Blackest Black was just something to keep us practicing our instruments and recording and things like that, but it wasn't anything for us to get burnt out on. Like, we had so many serious projects going, and we didn't want to get burnt out, so we had Blacker Than the Blackest Black, and we did that, and then we had NFG, which is all of the R&B and hip-hop stuff that we do, and it's pretty much the exact same stuff, just to different instrumentals, like different genres. Like, if you listen to the lyrics in Blacker Than the Blackest Black song and the lyrics that I do from an NFG song, they're all interchangeable, and I'm talking about the same shit. I'm talking about shed life. That's it. Like, I'm talking about drinking Pappy, punching people in the face, chugging whiskey, smoking so much weed that somebody called the fire department because they thought the house was on fire. But there's Blacker Than the Blackest Black is just absolutely ridiculous, and I'm really excited to open it up to everyone and kind of put it on like that Silura platform where, like, hey, you want to do something?
Yeah. Literally, like, our excuse to just be completely stupid.
Yes. Yes, and see, the good thing about that is if there's any riffs that are stocked up or don't make it to actual singles or albums and stuff for the other bands, they could just throw it in a Blacker Than the Blackest Black compilation folder, and we could just be like, oh, look at that. Let's make something with that. Because Blacker Than the Blackest Black songs are like anywhere from 45 seconds to 1:20. Like,
yeah, they don't do much.
Yeah, they're not. We just go really, really hard and cram like 5 minutes worth of music all into like 1:20, and you're worn the hell out once it's done. But yeah, I'm really excited about that, man. Also, really, really excited for a lot of the bands and stuff that I've been checking out, and I'm really excited for a lot of them that have been inquiring. Like, we've been trying different ways of promotion and getting the word out for ShedRat Industries and the individual bands and stuff, and it's starting to work out. Like, a lot of the ways we've been doing it is starting to work, and we've been getting a lot of good responses, not only from fans, but from bands. And the bands that have been inquiring about ShedRat Industries for the last couple days have just, the quality of production and content that they put out, and the talent of the musicians in the bands, it's really blowing me away that they're considering ShedRat Industries as something to roll with.
Oh yeah, it's almost made me feel like we got to start stepping up our game even more.
Yeah, we got to put out better music.
Freaking yeah, like everybody that's talked to us, Crimson Shrine has been amazing.
Yes.
From day one.
Yes.
Super badass dudes, super awesome, super ready to just jump into it.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that the more bands that keep hitting us up like that are exactly the same. They want to jump into it. They want to contribute. They want to, have their hands in everything. Yeah. Just like what we did when we jumped in.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, and that's what I want. I want people to feel comfortable to be able to to jump in like that and, you know, just come swim with us because the water's nice.
Yep. Oh, no, it definitely is.
But now that brings me to my last point here I got on my list. Speaking of bands that have been inquiring and bands that I've had my eye on for a little while, we've got the featured artist for the podcast today is Silence and Solace from Holland, Michigan, right around the Grand Rapids area. What do you think about those guys? Have you looked into them?
Those dudes fucking rock. I checked out the Spotify link that you guys sent me and listened to what I could, and I was just blown away. I was like, damn, these guys hit us up. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really fucking cool. No, I'm super excited. I really hope that they're just as excited as we are for them to join, because they're fucking badass. The live video stream that you sent in too, that was super fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Plus, you guys have a guitar that I really know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited to keep my eye on them and a handful of the other bands that we've been checking out and talking to here lately. And I talked briefly with you guys in the family chat about maybe starting some sort of a chart, like a ShedRat chart or a billboard, and putting up bands that maybe we have our eyes on, or maybe bands that people can recommend to put on the chart, and let people vote on them. And then, you know, every time we come back for a new podcast, we'll have a different chart rating for everybody, and maybe at the end of a certain time period, take the top 3 and offer them something.
Hell yeah. Super cool idea. I like that. Little ShedRat billboard.
Yeah, I think it would be something to get the bands outside of the family out there, you know, and the other fans and things like that. I think it would be a really good way to bring everybody together and get everybody involved. And it would give people something to pay attention to besides us talking.
Definitely. Yeah, the music industry definitely needs that.
Yeah. I think that would be really cool to do something like that. But, well, I'd say we're probably close to wrapping this bad boy up, wouldn't you?
Hell yeah.
Well, I appreciate having you on, Domo, and I appreciate everything you do for the ShedRat family and all the shit you kick out for Silura.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everything you've done for us. You know, you reached out to us when everything looked hopeless and bleak and desolate.
Well, I'm glad that I could come to you and help out, man. It really means a lot that it really means a lot to me that I mean so much to people. Like I've always just wanted to help, and I always come across a lot of the people that think it's too good to be true, or think that I'm just full of shit. But, you know, it just takes one person to actually hang around and find out, I just want to help, man. Like, I really want to make not only, like, I want all of us to be part of something bigger than what we are, and I want it to be here when we're gone.
Exactly. You know, and we were part of something that tried to be like that, and unfortunately the person that was in charge of it all didn't want to think that way, and he wasn't, you know, he wasn't helpful. He didn't think the way you did.
Yeah.
It was very, very self-centered, and it turned into a whole gigantic mess. People were upset constantly, and, you know, and then when you found us, it completely turned our idea of what this type of thing should be around.
Yeah.
And we're super grateful for that. You know, we're super grateful to be able to give, you know, the community type thing a second chance.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Like I've experienced a lot of negative things like that myself, and I wanted to take all the bad out of it, and I wanted to take everybody else's hands but yours out of your pockets.
That's the best way to do it. For love of the game, baby.
Oh yeah, for love of the game. I'm going to die doing this. I might as well do something good with it while I'm living.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, man. I appreciate you swinging by and taking the time and talking to us here at the RatHole. Want everybody to check out all the other bands we've got on SRI. Check out everything we've got going. If you don't have any of their pages liked individually, take it to the ShedRat Industries page. Check out our Wix site. Click on any of their pages there on the Wix site. It'll take you to any of their pages. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Bandcamp, iTunes, Facebook. Well, we got Instagram and Twitter now, Delmo.
Instagram, Twitter, you name it, we got it.
All right, just
find us on there.
Look for us if you want to find us, I guess. But yeah, well, thanks for stopping by, guys, and enjoy this video from Silence and Solace.